Yes, sir. Another one. How you doing tonight? Emmanuel over on YouTube. I'm going to be getting started here in just a moment. Hey guys, how's your day going? My day is going goodness, my day is going very well. Thank you for asking today over on Facebook. Manuel, good. Trying to figure out my mic out on Call of Duty. Are you having trouble with it? What kind of mic is it? But Jose, my day is going good. It's going to go even better when this build is completed. How's your day, Jose? I'm gonna probably just get started on this and we keep chatting here. But overall, this build is for Mike. Mike is looking to get some better performance out of his games, so we got a pretty nice system that we're building for him tonight. We're going to go, once again, just like yesterday, the Ryzen 7 5800X, which is 16 cores. I'm sorry, 8 cores, 16 threads, my bad. Been a long day. Boost clock is 4.7 gigahertz. Max boost stock. We've got a set of 32 gigabytes. Double checking my math. Yep, 32 gigabyte kit, which is 216s CL18, and it is, I'm sorry, CL16, my mistake, 3200 megahertz, and this, of course, Delta RAM, which is by Team Group. And we're building in the MSI X570 Edge Max Wi-Fi board. A little bit, really nice board, this build. Good, just got home from work. Jose, awesome, that's awesome. So it's Friday night finally it could begin. Manual, A40 with the Nix Pro. Okay. So, I know that some of those, some of them actually will require you to download software, especially with the mixer. I believe you have a mixer with that. And I know that they make specific ones for console, and then they make a specific one for PC. So I would check your model to make sure it's supported by PC. I just know that the ones with console have had issues with PC in the past. So just go on the website and take a look and make sure that your model is compatible with PC, which I would assume it is. Most mics are, but just double check. The storage that we're going to be using is a 2 terabyte M.2 Gen 4. It's got a really good read-write speed. This is an Intel performance drive. Because if you don't know this brand, it's by Micro Center, or same brand as. Then we're going to be building with 3 sets of Deepcool CF120 fans. so there's plenty of fans in here. One of these sets is actually going to be on the AIO, which is a 360 millimeter Deep Cool AIO. Graphics card we're using today is sticking with the MSI theme. So we're going with the MSI RTX 3080, and this is the Ventus 3X Plus. So it's got the 3 fans, cooler. This is also the OC edition, factory overclocked. So we've got beefy build here. This is also the 12 gigabyte version of the RTX 3080. This is not the 10 gig. We got 2 more gigs of VRAM on this. Then we have some extension cables here. Which are the gray and black that we're going to be going with today. Gray and black. And then this puppy is going to be powered by a 1000 watt EVGA G5 Supernova. 1000 G5 Supernova. This is gold rated 80 plus. Probably one of my favorite power supplies to build with. And just a quick look at the cooler. Same one as last night, actually. It's the Deep Cool Castle 360EX. The great cooler. If you haven't noticed, I like it a lot. I won't mess up the mounting, right? Yeah, the one I got is for PS4, PC, and Mac. Okay. So check their website and see if there's any software that you have to download in order to make it work. And also, does it work in if you go on in the settings, the sound settings, open the microphone, does it work in there? Is it just having trouble getting it communicating with Warzone? I guess that would be something to check, is to see if it's working outside of Warzone. Adjust this a little better. Constant. Trying to stay in the camera. So let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to start with the RAM, the SSD, and the CPU on the motherboard. Then we'll move on to the fans, which is going to take the longest, with three sets of 9. Just in Warzone? Okay. So if it's just in Warzone, take a look at the mic settings or the sound settings in Warzone and see if they are set to a default device. Because what it might be doing is trying to pick up a different mic or use, like for example, your monitor or something, if it has the outlet for microphones. So I would set it directly to that device rather than a default device, or go in your Windows settings and make sure that that microphone is your default device for your input. Sometimes it can get confused there. I've seen it a couple times that where it's confused about the default device, and the best thing to do is just go in there and change it. Kind of cool. Yes, I gave you screwdriver set. Pretty cool. We need our M.2 drive, stud, and okay, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, let me know, because we could jump on a remote session. Yeah, can't talk. Let me know, because we could jump on a remote session after the stream. We could take a look at it. Or worst case scenario, if it's that terrible, I can maybe stop the stream or share my screen and show everybody what I'm doing. to get these peels off here. Look at how badass this board is looking. This is the X570 MPG Edge Wi-Fi. Got the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi on there. Already built in, which makes it nice. There's a lot of options on this board. Look at how many USB 3.0 ports you got on the back here. It's just a ton, along with the other USB options here, and USB-C as well. Sound option, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. I mean, I still don't understand why people build, or why many PS2 on here. That's a PS2 port. Nobody really uses that anymore. Very rare. Only a few devices that I'm aware of that are still around that maybe use it. But anyway, it's a beautiful motherboard overall. That VRM backside is even looking cool too. It says avoid collision. Read here. Avoid collision. Okay. We'll avoid collision. We're gonna get this job, pop that in here. Right with the box roll. Here's our Ryzen 7 5800X that's gonna go in there. Haven't handled CPU before. Careful, because are on the bottom of the CPU. Don't really want to drop this one because you will chance really damaging those pins, and it is a pain to straighten those out. Sometimes they'll even break right off. But if you haven't done an AMD CPU, you got a little gold triangle here. If my camera will focus, not way too much light on it. I tried to soften the light up this time, guys, but it's not really working. So. Block. There's a gold triangle here, one of the corners. I'm gonna line up that gold triangle with the top left corner. Usually it has some sort of indicator here. And you set it in nice and neat. Operate it. You fold the arm down, you're good to go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Now we're going to move on to the RAM. RAM is the Force Delta addressable RGB, and this is by, again, Team Group. This is 16 gigabytes each stick, so that's a total of 32 gigabytes, and that's CL16 at 3200 megahertz. So it's, I'm sorry, 3600 megahertz. Hey, I thought we went with 3200, but oops. I actually build quite a few computers in a single day, sometimes. So, and I also do a lot of estimates with people. I will get some of these parts confused. I apologize in advance. Bear with me, I'm getting old. Don't worry, I always make sure the right parts are going in the system based on the input. And also, sometimes what will happen is I order a part or put a part on the invoice, and if I can get a better part for the same price based off of, something. I did the mic test, it works, but people can't hear me. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Also, make sure that your I missed that comment Daniel. But make sure your push to talk. I don't know if you're push to talk or open mic. Make sure that setting is set inside Call of Duty Warzone as well. But if it's working in Windows, then it's definitely a Call of Duty problem. But anyway, sometimes when parts are cheaper than what I quoted, I will be able to get a better component. So I might go from, for example, 3200 megahertz to 3600 megahertz because it was the same price. So that'll actually happen quite a bit. I always try to get the best for everybody. Now we're going to install the 2 terabyte M.2 and 4. Got 2 slot here. This and 4 heatsink for the SSD. Going to slide into the slot right here. Make sure the stud's not in the wrong spot, which is the right spot, so we're there. We will need a .2 screw, which comes with the board. Any of these extra screws, Mike, they're going to be inside your spare parts bag that will come with your PC. So anytime you need to do an upgrade, you'll have the screws that you need to do any type of upgrade to your system. There we go. Got our M.2 installed. Mount the heatsink back to top of this sorry if I'm putting want to make sure it's lined up. I have it on open mic. It's Call of Duty play 5M. It works. So the other thing it could be is disable all the other input devices in Windows except for that microphone. So if you go into the Windows settings under input and you disable everything under input devices except for your microphone that you're trying to use, and then restart Call of Duty, see if that changes anything. That's a bug. That's actually an old bug that I thought they fixed by now, like when it first came out. Give that a try. And again, let me know. We can, probably jump on a remote session if you want. All right, we got our solid state drive installed. We got our RAM installed. We have our Ryzen 7 5800X installed. So look at this badass motherboard. Looking pretty neat already. All right, I'm going to throw this over here. Not throw it, but... I'm actually going to pop this cooler open and grab some of the mounting brackets and get that down on the board, so we don't have the issue of dealing with the backplate behind the motherboard. All right. Probably just pull this right here, because I think we're gonna do this first. Out of the way. Get her down. But what I was after was this box that contains all the mounting brackets. See if that's any better. I think the lighting was just way too bright here. And it's still reflecting the light a little bit. I'm trying to fix that. Put some distorters or whatever you want to call those things on the lamps, and still letting too much light through. Not soft enough. Got to keep tampering with it. Perfect. Actually, won't miss these or any. We'll need these. Motherboard back. That motherboard again. And pop these stock AMD clips off. Or AMD brackets, what call them, stock brackets. These will be included with your hardware as well, just in case you ever upgrade to a cooler that requires these stock brackets. There are some coolers out there that require them, so these will be included in your hardware package. Like to keep everything as organized as possible. I'm putting things back into bags that are labeled AMD for you, so it makes sense in the future when you need it. But they come with these little thumb tabs, double gutted, all that, through into the metal back plate, the stock back plate on the back of the motherboard. And once we get all four of these installed, that will secure the back plate from falling through, and we can move on to getting this case in. I'm going to get this mounted to the case before we move on to doing the radiator. All right, I'm gonna get this couple SSD plates. Remove those because we're not going to use those. We're actually going to be putting fans there at the bottom here. Show you what I'm talking about these guys right here. There's two of them here. We're going to remove those because we're putting fans there. Now, drop this motherboard in here. It's always a good idea before you drop a motherboard into the case to make sure that the studs that you're going to screw the motherboard into are all there, matching all the holes on the motherboard. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And just make sure they're all in the same place. Universal for the most part, except for have ATX or ITX, micro ATX, ATX, which have EATX, which also has a term. mostly probably well known ATX extended board, larger than. This case supports up to ATX. This is an ATX mid tower. There we go, we got it all lined up. Now we can start screwing everything in. Hardware out of the case, go on the back. You have your box of hardware that comes with the case, and that will have all your screws and whatnot for basically the entire build, except for specific things like the fans, and your power supply should come with well for the power supply, but this covers everything else. And again, any leftover screws from this build will be included in your hardware package. All right, so the screw that you're going to be using, light lift to it, getting a good shot of it, but fine thread does make a difference with the screw you're using, because if you use the wrong one, you're going to thread it, and you'll never be able to get it out without taking that stud out. When you have to do that, then you have to separate the stud and the screw that's stuck to the board. It's kind of a pain. So make sure you use the right screws, right holes, because there are different threads on all of these screws. Now we will be later on taking a couple of these screws out to sneak some wires behind the board a little bit, and that kind of keeps it clean inside here, so that the cable management is nice and neat, clean, Know what I mean? And it's good to be just hand tight. Don't want to over tighten these much. Just snug, I'd say, is a good word for it. If you over tighten, you're chancing pressure. I would expect you couldn't, but still a possibility. Pressure cracking the PVC on the motherboard, and we don't want to do that. Very expensive PVC, and it would just straight up suck to have to go replace your motherboard. But probably the rarest situation of anything. Probably have a higher chance of getting static electricity than over tightening it. So I've got all 9 of my screws in here. We're good to go there. We've got our CPU installed, our RAM installed, our SSD installed. Our back plate is ready to receive the AIO pump. Next, what we're going to do is actually just shift this over to the side again, and we're going to get this radiator going. We've got some fans that we have to do the radiator. Again, we're going to be using the CF120s with 120 millimeter PWM addressable RGB fans. This is a set of 3, and all 3 of these are going to go on this radiator. This is going to be mounted on the top of the case, which is going to act as an exhaust, but there's a lot of airflow in this case. So there are a total of 6 fans acting as intake. So you're getting plenty of fresh air going in here. The other option with this AIO is we could mount it on the side and just draw fresh air directly in. But my preference, based off of testing and comparing, really not losing much temperature by mounting it on the top. Overall, it's pretty much the same exact. So we're going to make sure that these fans are facing the right way, because we don't want, number one, I don't want cables facing weird positions. So I'm going to grab this, kind of put it in the case. Also make the cables go in the right direction, the way I want them. That's just a quick tip. Want to make sure your cables are facing the right way towards the back of the case. Again, like you're putting it in there, and just kind of line it up. It also makes a difference which way you are mounting the fan, back or front. That will determine your airflow direction. Right now we are mounting these so that the airflow is pushing through the radiator. So airflow goes down to the table right now, which is what we want. Now with the AIO kit, you'll receive a bunch of these screws. There's 2 sets of screws in here. One are for the fans, which are the long ones, and then the shorter ones are for the radiator, which you're going to use on to mount it to the case. Hey, bud. How's it going? How you doing, bud? So there's 4 screws per fan. If you're ever in a pinch, you could do 2 in a diagonal. You may get some vibration with that, but I would always recommend using 4 if possible, because we'll balance the fan. That balances the bearings on the fan. And it also helps with vibration. Not a fan of vibration, make sure you have all 4 screws. You can also get rubber pads for your fans that will help with vibration. Put it in between the backside. That'll soak up a lot of the vibration. These have rubber pads already pre-installed on them, which is nice because you save some time, but some fan kits will come with the pads where you have to install them, which is nice sometimes, but personally, I built so many computers, you know, I like to test, but these are pretty high quality fans as it is, so I appreciate the fact that they're on there. And we're going to have about 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 twist ties just from these 3 fans. When you're tightening these fans down, make sure you don't tighten it down too tight. If you over tighten, you'll notice that your fan will start flexing. You don't want to do that. As even or level as possible. They're flexing downwards towards the radiator. That means you have them too tight. Can break the plastic off the edge of the fan, so be careful with that. You can also screw this screw in too far and actually start screwing into the fins of your radiator. So don't do that. Corsair, I think, is notorious for having full threaded screws, which is, I don't understand, because it just encourages people to screw those in or use them for things that they're not supposed to. Now we got to deal with all these twist ties. One of my favorite things to do. Twist ties. I don't know about you guys, but if anybody feels like, you know, flying over here and helping me one day with these twist ties, I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it. It would be touching my heart if you did that. By the way, I don't know if you've heard behind me in the background. You may hear some music and some screeching here and there. There are, my wife and my girls are all having a quote-unquote girl night. You definitely need a helper for those. Yeah, I know, I do. But all my girls right now are currently having girls' nights. I don't have any current helpers right now. So I'm alone over here streaming a film. Well, I'm not alone. I got you guys. But I know you can see the TV in the background. They're sitting there playing music on the TV, I think. Yeah. Let me know if you guys know what music video that is in the background. Take a guess. And then you could probably guess my age based off of that. All right, so we got the twist ties done, finally, and we are going to get this thing mounted here. Top. So you can see why I kind of got those cables done. We're going to shove them through these holes, top of the case here. I wish I could give you a better angle. Can't. 4/4 camera setup. I actually tested it today and it was bugging out, so I fall back to the standard 2 until I figure out what is causing the bug out. I think it's USB cable. I have an extension to the tape. I think I went too far. Okay. Good. Got the cables where they need to be, and we're gonna get 2 screws here started. One here. Then we're going to do another one on the front of the case, and I won't have to hold it. Also, while you're doing this, make sure you line up your holes so they're not getting blocked. Nope. Now we're just going to pound through all 12 of these screws, baby. I don't know about you, but you could get away with just putting 4 screws in here and it'd probably be fine. But I do all the screws. I'm that type of guy. I like to see it done 100%. Sorry. So over on the Twitch side, actually, if you guys go on Twitch, I don't know if anybody's on Twitch right now watching, but I did put some new chat commands that I haven't really tested yet. So if you do play with the chat commands that I have not advertised yet, you find out which ones they are. Probably have too much fun with them. Give you some hints. There's some sounds that you could command from Twitch. Like, for example, you could try exclamation point error, or exclamation point startup, or exclamation point shutdown. So try those commands if you're over on Twitch. I'm curious if they work or not. Kidding, I know they work. It's trying to get you guys to use them. Then I'm also going to grow that some more commands, including some videos or GIFs or stuff like that. I just need time to fiddle with it. There we go. We got radiator mounted beautifully. We have our pump ready to be connected here, which I may as well just go ahead and connect. Not flopping around while we're... I'm going to wipe this old thermal paste off. I'm not a fan of using thermal paste. It's been sitting there. It could be months. Also not a fan of using low quality thermal paste. Not saying that it is low quality, it actually isn't bad. But I prefer all my builds have Thermal Grizzly where they walk out the door. I know for sure stuff is battle tested and it will last for a long time. So we got this all nice and cleaned up. Nice chunk of copper there, guys. For your metal recover sellers, call yourselves recoverists. I guess if you like recovering metal and selling it, throw a piece of stuff and grab a bunch of old hardware and you probably make a ton of money off of that. Honestly. I know there's people out there that do it already. Probably not as much now, but these are the brackets for AMD. I am adding to the CPU block / pump, and this will allow me to mount it to or finish. Now one on each side, or top and bottom. I just wanted to make sure I put the bracket on the right spot. It doesn't really make a difference, but I just wanted the extra length on the bracket here. You'll see that this one right here has more length to it. I wanted it on the bottom side, not the top side. Looks funny when it's on the top side. Cosmetic. Might get in the way of that heat sink on the top of the motherboard. I don't think I'll clear it. And then we'll get the thermal paste here. Went to Twitch, they do work. Oh yeah. Now, okay, that's weird because it should have showed me that you ran them. But don't have too much fun with them. There's actually a whole bunch of more sound bits that are live and actually running. So let me know if you find any others. Common one. Probably see on other streams too. Try them out. See if you find one. Thermal Grizzly. We're just about at the end of this too. Pretty low. I'm gonna grab a new tube. We have a new tube. Damn it. Lost the fit. Thermal Grizzly paste, because a lot of people make fakes. Be careful of that when you are. Thank you for following. I appreciate the follow. Adam, thank you for the like. Family Ops, thank you for the like. I appreciate you. But Thermal Grizzly will send you a certificate of origin. You can go on their website or you can QR code, verify, and prove that this is a real product, because there's a lot of fakes out there. Believe it or not. Because this stuff is expensive. This tube's like $40. 40 or 50. I can't even. But for a while there, it was even more. So I don't have any thermal paste on my gloves, but I wear gloves so I can easily remove them if I need to. By getting thermal paste on them, it keeps it so you keep your fingerprints off, and it keeps your thermal paste from getting all over the parts if you get it on your fingers. Sounds like we're listening to Linkin Park in the background, guys. So these little thumb screws is what I'm going to use to secure lock to the CPU. And I'm just doing a diagonal motion, and then I'm going to tighten them one by one, probably diagonally cross pattern. Just evens out the pressure as you tighten the CPU, or the pump to the CPU down to the motherboard. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it right. Start with this top one here. Maybe. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down either to get it started. Alright, we're good. There we go, we're mounted. Guess what, guys? I've got 2 more twists. But we're at 6, so 7. 7 twists. 1. If you want to count the twist tie for the box on the back that was holding the hardware, that's another twist tie. Technically. Or, I'm sorry, 7, 8, 9 twist ties. My math is not right. So this is where we're going to be running some cables up here for the motherboard. Hide them. One's got to get to the pump. Pitch. Could be right. But this one's going to run down here. Side. We're also going to have another CPU fan, which is this guy right here. For the 3 fans on the radiator. That's going to run on the backside as well. And we'll have also an addressable RGB wire cable coming. Guess what? That was another twist tie. We're at 10. Trying to prove a point, guys. There's a lot of twist ties in computer builds, so if you don't like twist ties, don't build computers. This is where I'm going to pop those 2 screws off I mentioned earlier, just so I can get these cables under the board, and we can hide them. Nice little trick for Leon Lee 011 Dynamics. Need to hide some cables there. The other option is you do a bigger sandwich on your radiator. You'll drop this literally right down to the motherboard, and all your cables will be hidden behind it, which we could have done. Might still go back and do it later. See. But guess what, guys? There's another twist tie. We're at 11. 11 twist ties now. I'm also gonna layering it white in a black case. Not really. for this build, we're going for the white and black theme. This is going to go on the rainbow addressable RGB pins here, top of the board. That's going to be for all the RGB on the pump, the RGB on the fans for the radiator. Now I'm going to stick my head in the way probably a little bit here, but for the best. I tuck these under the board. My goal is to try to get them under the stud. They're out of the way. Stud. Gonna pop off. But that looks so much cleaner, doesn't it? If you do that. And having a bunch of wires there. Thing. But that's all the cables that I believe I'm going. I remember. Then we're just going to put the screws back in. Don't over tighten. But there is a little bit of a gap behind the motherboard, and it's fine to do that as long as it's not crazy thick. Pretty thin wires. Oh. Thank you. The kids are crazy. Alright, so we're going to move on to the fans. We're going to do 3 fans on the bottom, 3 fans on the side. We got 6 more fans to go. So before I proceed with mounting these fans on the bottom, I do want to get these pulled. But I do have to actually open these boxes to get to some of the cables I work. So that's because the majority of these connections are down here at the bottom. Once we put these fans in, it's going to be a pain to get to these connections. I want to make sure they're all connected. Go, and it's just going to. So if you're ever building in this case, and you're putting fans on the bottom, make sure. So 1, get another zip tie or twist ties. 12 twist ties. 12 twist ties. This is going to be another RGB connection for the side and bottom fan. Unless I missed the light, which is looking on the addressable RGB Rainbow 2 header. I'm just going to go through a lot here. And plug it in better. Just locate it. Go. And then next, we have 2 different PWM fan hubs. One's for the bottom side. This way you can actually control the speed of the fans on both the vertical and the bottom. So you can change speeds if you want. Both sets. You have control over both sets. Oh. Going to bed, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, there's another twist tie, so we're at 13. Twist. Once again, if you don't like twist ties, I avoid building. You know what? We're actually going to run the at the top. Crazy as that may sound. The reason why is because the layout of this board, this is top here. This is directly. That way in the software it's going to match up very nicely. For the twist tie, so what is that, 14 now? Am I at 14 or 13, guys? I think I've lost count. Don't judge me, I'm old. So, number 2. Yeah. All perfection. So, next, I'm gonna finish getting these wires plugged in. Number 1. Remaining wires is actually in the back of the case, part of the the front panel case. You need to get plugged in, and in order to do that, I need to pop this back panel off to gain access. You guessed it. There's another twist tie. I think we're at 15 now. Right here. I'm not lying about this. Twist tie in here. That's your kind of belt. Belt's just a lot of zip tie or twist tie. So we got our front panel USB 3.0 right here. You have your front panel audio, one right here. Then you have your front panel power button / what would be reset switch in another case, but your hard drive LED, power LED. These are going to run different locations. Oh, and then you do have your USB on this. Some of the older 11s, I don't think USB. FYI, make sure yours does if it be on the front panel. The USB-C will plug in right here by the 24-pin motherboard. Then our USB 3 is going to go right here. And that is why I am a huge fan of this motherboard. A slick, clean, perfect. I think, in my opinion, all the ports on this board are our HD audio, our front panel I/O buttons, fighting with me. Your front panel is generally in the corner, bottom right corner of the motherboard. That's usually your front panel connections, and it's usually labeled J, F, P, and usually a 1. Some cases or some motherboards. it will be labeled differently and it might be in a different spot, but most boards will have them in the same spot and will be labeled the same way and will have the same layout on the pins. But if you don't know which pin is which, you would want to reference your motherboard manual, and if you don't have your motherboard manual, go online and download it. They're always available online on their website for the model number of the board. But this one, again, they're pretty much all the same. Very rare to run into a board that has different layouts. I don't know why I haven't decided to make the connections a block easier. But I mean, the custom aspect of it is that you decide if you want your hard drive LEDs or if you want your power LEDs even connected, because it's low on the front of the case. It might disturb you, or they might not be like them. Some people don't, but you can unplug them and then have those indicator lights blinking at you. Doesn't impact the system at all. So just the power source, that's probably the most important one. Right? So this is the front panel audio we're going to be doing here. 1 pin notched. Your HD audio is generally bottom left corner of the board, always. Most boards, ITX boards or other size boards might be different, but this one is bottom left. Most ATX boards are in the bottom left. Again, 1 pin is notched, so you can really only plug it in one way. We're going to go there. So we're going to move on to getting these fans on the bottom of this case. And guess what? There are more twist ties. More twist ties. So we were at 15, I believe, a minute ago. Got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. What? We're at 21 twist ties. I think we're exceeding, if you're on Twitch, I think I had a poll going over there. Once I have more time, I'll try to get some of these fun things over to Facebook. Probably for the most part, it's going to be Twitch. I build these off until I get them perfected, and then I'll hand them off to Facebook and YouTube. I honestly don't get a lot of people on YouTube. It's been mostly Twitch and Facebook. But I stream to all three. I'm honestly not here to make $1 million on view. I build computers and I enjoy doing it. Appreciate the people that jump in and out with me. #21 twist tie. Old songs in the background, right? Alright, so we got all the twist ties done for these bottom fans. And it's going to be important to make sure that you are, if you are doing it, make sure you're putting them in the right way so that the flows go in the right direction. And you'll have bags of screws that come with these fans. Screws are what you're going to use to mount the fans. Jose, do you have an email to talk about builds or just a website? Yes. So you can email us at support. Now that's a pretty good idea. I should probably just add that to the chat bot. But it's support at empowergamingpcs.com. Support at empowergamingpcs.com. We also have that phone number there if you need to call us. You can also text us on that number. That's 248-617-1050. No problem, sir. But you can reach us on any of our social medias. So Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Instagram. I think we're on. I'm pretty sure we're on Instagram. No, we're on Instagram. I know we are. Then you can reach out on the website with the contact page. The website actually has all the links to the social media as well. So there's plenty of options, whichever your preferred method is, honestly. Yeah, let me know, because we do all sorts of stuff. We obviously stream builds. We do one-on-one builds. We do custom paint, where we customize a complete custom paint job for your entire case, and some of the components or parts on the components. Custom cables, we help pick out some nice cables with Cable Mod if you want Cable Mod cables. They're specifically custom for your power supply and match your color scheme. So much fun. You do complete custom everything. Custom back plates, custom base plates, built-in that piece. Back to second mode. Game off of it, though I wouldn't recommend it because it's kind of crap. Lower res. I was just thinking about something similar to what you built for Judge. Oh, nice. Yeah, that is a solid build. Hey, Weird Duck, thank you for the like. I appreciate you, man. That glass should be done here. I'm going to actually call him tomorrow morning and see if I can go pick it up. And we'll get your build out. And then Kyle, I think that is you. Kyle is the Weird Duck. But thank you, Kyle. I appreciate the like for both accounts. What's up? How's it going, man? Dude, I just can't wait to get your build to you. Waiting on that glass. That's twice now that I've had a delay on the glass. Not for you, but two separate builds. I think I'm gonna have to go with another company. I don't think it's their fault either. I think they're fine. Busy. We are the same. Sounds good to me. Yep. I know you are. I can't wait to see it, man. I know. Just sitting over there on my table. Those new cables did come in, by the way, so I owe you those pictures. They look way better than those cables that we had in there. So I'm excited for you. I just have to battle with it. So you were, Jose, you were thinking about a build similar to what Judge has for his community, or one that he is running right now, one of his builds that he's got running right now. At least it's a beautiful paperweight. It's actually not a paperweight right now. It's a fully functional computer and runs and everything. It's just doesn't have glass. Like I said, I could ship it with some extra glass I have here, get it to you, and then ship the glass separate. I would just ask you to ship the other glass back for the community. So the same build I just did last night. So yeah, we could definitely put one of those together. I think total in parts on that build was about 2,100, but that was parts without labor because he and I are working out a deal together. So probably after, and also there was no tax, but after taxes and all that with shipping, because I also gave him free shipping, it'd probably come out to like 23-ish, 24-ish, 2,400-ish, I'd say. Price on graphics cards are actually still coming down. So when I bought these parts a little while ago, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now, this build might even be less now. No, don't do that. I'm fine waiting till the glass comes in. All right. I'm not gonna challenge. I did that with Mern too, because his glass got all delayed. I was like, you know what? I'm just shipping it without the glass, and I'm just the glass when it's done. That way, I don't feel like an ass holding up your build. I'm gonna flip this over here. I think I'm gonna spin it this way. But we have 3 more fans to install here, and guess what? We have more twist ties. More twist ties. I think we were at 21. We have plus 6. We're now at 27 twist ties. 27 twist ties now. We're not even done with this. We're not even close. Well, we are, but you know. I don't think I could afford one Heat games on. I don't think his is actually much bigger than that. I think he's got like in one of his builds like a 3080 Ti and a Ryzen or Intel i9 or something like that. I didn't actually build his current rig, but it's a nice build. I know that. And it's more like 3,500, maybe 4,000. I'm not even sure. And when he bought it, it might have been even more expensive. Don't quote me on that. Build I actually, right now, if you're in Twitch, you can go exclamation point X. I'll actually give X in my build. But my build right now, Ryzen 7 3800X, and it's also a RTX 3070 Ti. So it's actually the same build that you would be buying, the same one as that community build that I did last night. And I'll tell you what, I'm able to stream, game, whatever I want in 1080p. So it's more than enough. I mean, if you start getting into some crazy stuff with your streams, you know, that's when you'll start wanting the extras. And you will lose a little bit of FPS while you're streaming and gaming on the same system, but it's not bad, honestly. I'm not that picky though with my FPS, doesn't really. I grew up playing on FPS. Anything better than 60? There are some games, like when Call of Duty 1 was first. Hey Toby, how's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by and saying hi, man. How are you doing tonight? There's like back when Call of Duty 1 first came out, my video card could only get it running at like 22 frames per second. I played the entire game. That was that. Them were the good old days. Well, Toby, we are at 27 twist ties now. 27 twist ties in this build. So if anybody wants to come over and help me with twist ties, save me from having to deal with all these twist ties. Human eye can't detect anything faster than... That's actually wrong, good sir. That's wrong. You're gonna make me lose sales because of that comment. I'm just kidding. Doing good, man. Hanging out with the kiddos. Awesome. Well, it's actually... Human eye can see up to, I think it's like 200, 240, depending on your eyes. So you can see up to 240-ish, 200-ish. You can see 144. I can see, and with my old crappy eyes. Like if I go from 60 FPS and I go play on 144 FPS, I can feel the difference. There's a big difference. I'm not just saying that by computers. Not planning on streaming, not good enough to stream, especially since it's the first time gaming on a computer, says Jose. Well, I mean, you don't really have to be good to stream, honestly. I suck at Warzone. I streamed that for a little. But you don't have to be good, you just have to be entertaining. You have to communicate and talk and conversate, hang out, and create a community. Create and be able to talk. And you have to be able to talk, like me, I can't. But create a community, and everybody will love you, follow you, and join the fun. Really? That's fair. Blister Kisser. Crowd can blow 1,000 FPS with his mind. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I'm old, so I don't even know what's real anymore when I look at things. Thanks for stopping in, Blister Kisser. I appreciate it. Thanks for the like, Toby. I appreciate you. Jose, I guess I can't say that I did play Command and Conquer many years ago. Okay, yeah, I played Command and Conquer too. That was actually a really fun game, especially their Red Alert series. More specifically, Red Alert and Red Alert 2 were probably my favorites out of the Command and Conquer series. John Wayne Colston, happy Friday, Ben. Thanks, Don. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. You guys playing Warzone right now? Or are you guys out bar hopping? Without me again. John's one of my close buddies I actually grew up with. Yeah, he's still dear to my heart. Common, I was playing Tech Warrior. I feel... Yes. I remember Mech Warrior as well. That was a fun one too. It was even more fun when I got the joystick for it too. It just made the experience so much better. Might be time to get a new screwdriver. Magnetic tip on this one is failing me. It failed me for the last time. Man, oh man. I am tired of screwing fans in the case. What was it, 12 yesterday? And we're doing 9 here today. It's a lot of fans, not to mention the ones that I'm not streaming. So, you guys do the math and think about it for a minute. It adds up. I have nightmares of twist ties and screwing fans into it. Alright. So, if these cables don't give you anxiety, I don't know what will. There we go. We got our fans installed. It's beautiful. Gotta make sure our cables are nice and tight. Like it. Don't want anything popping up. Out of uniform. Everything looks nice and tight. We are clear to move on to our cables. Or you know what? Let's get the card plugged in real quick. Get the video card plugged in and then we'll move on to the cables. We actually have a bracket for this one. This card is so heavy it requires a bracket. This is the RTX 3080 and this is the 12 gigabyte version, overclocked by MSI. It's the Venice 3X Plus. Beautiful card. Gonna blend it pretty well with the build. Color scheme and everything. There you go. Packaging, as always, by MSI is perfect. This is our bracket that we're going to be using here. And the card itself. There is our MSI RTX 3080, and look at how thick that thing. That is a thick card. That's what's going to be powering your Warzone, Mike. Line up and pop it in here. And for the bracket, I just want to make sure that we're installing it in the right spot before it screws in there, which we're doing just fine. So the majority of the cost here is probably this graphics card, which I just can't get over the size, and they're only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Especially for gaming. Now we're going to just pop these 3 screws off so we can mount this bracket. That'll hold or help hold the weight of the card off the PCIe slot, which as cards get heavier, the more weight on those slots, over time it can cause damage. That's why we put brackets on. And you'll see people talk about graphics card sag, or look at the sag on that, or sag. They're talking about the weight of that graphics card being too heavy for the PCIe slot, it is actually causing the card to sag. I'm going to get it as snug as possible so that when we flip it over, the weight of the card just starts resting on that metal plate, that bracket. Riser cables are getting insane in price too now. Yes, I know. Are we talking about minor riser cables or like PCIe 4s or PCIe 3 cables, risers for like vertical mounting or mounting the graphics card in a different area of the case? 3.0. Okay, yeah. So for like vertical GPU mounting, yes, those are getting up. Those are going up in price. Those are definitely going up in price. Yeah, it's kind of weird because the riser cables are going up in price, but graphics cards are coming down. I think I'd rather pay a little bit more for a riser cable or survive without it and have the graphics card. I would pay, you know, double, triple for them. Personally. Struggling to get this 410. Finally. Do you prefer liquid cooled than without? I mean, honestly, it really kind of depends on your like your room temperature that you're going to be keeping your computer. If you live in a environment that doesn't have AC, it's probably going to be better to try to stick with water cooled. Whereas if you have AC, probably no problem to stick air cooled. I actually ran air cooled all the way up until last year. Never had a problem with overheating, even while I was streaming. Water cooled, really for, I guess, hotter temperatures outside, in my opinion. Think of it like a car. We got cable combs. I'm going to get these cable combs going. So my preference, honestly, I really don't have one. It just comes down to what makes sense. Like, if air-cooled makes more sense for the scenario, then honestly, you could probably build every single I built air-cooled. It would probably perform pretty close to the same water cooled, except for my open loop. Those are where you make significant temperature, because you can add multiple radiator liquids multiple times. Liquid just really fast. You can adjust the speed. A lot more customizations. Say open loop. You do get pretty hot here in South Carolina. Okay. Now, water cooling is probably better option, but you could probably still do air cooled. That build I just did with the Unity, that was water cooled. Did a 360 millimeter AIO in that. Actually, the same one we're using. So, I mean, water cooling, air cooling. I mean, as long as you get enough cooler, either one, gonna get the job done. Usually with air coolers, I try to aim for like at least pipes for a tower air cooler. If you're going low profile, sure there's still a couple here. Big chunk of copper to move that off there. But overall, as long as it's not the stock Intel cooler, that stuff's crap. Don't use that. You are cooking your CPU daily, even when it's at idle. CPU coolers, air coolers are actually really get some really do a really good job. So wouldn't be an excuse to get your safe stock air cooler. That's all I'm saying. Playing with these cables too much. Alright, now we're off to the 24 pin. Got the two 8-pin done for the graphics card. What do you guys think I should eat? Italian set. Give me some food ideas, people. I'm hungry. Oh my gosh. I'm just working on these paper drawings. There's so many of them. Not just sitting here staring at my feet. I might be staring at my feet actually. Okay, though, right? Liver and onions. Oh god, no. Is that a southern thing? I've had liver more times than I've ever wanted to have in my life. And trust me, the person who cooked it did not cook it right. That kind of ruined it for me. I don't think I'll ever try it again. Ever. It was so bad to the point where you gag. That's how bad. But thank you. You made me not hungry anymore. Don't think I could ever bring myself to eat it. You're the one that just recommended it, man. Alright, here's the deal. I'll eat it again if you try it. But, like, somebody like Gordon Ramsay has to prep it for us. Or at least tell us it sucks. Because he'll tell us the truth. Oh boy, oh boy. Recommend. I would say shepherd's pie. Oh, God. But that takes a while to cook, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys have tried HelloFresh or if maybe your ladies have. If you have ladies. Wives. But, my wife convinced me to try the HelloFresh stuff. And one of them does include a, like, Irish or whatever it is, Scottish or Irish, I don't even remember which one. I think it's Scottish. Might be Irish. Shepherd's pie. Sounds more Scottish. But that meal came and it did take a while to prep. Even with the HelloFresh, and all HelloFresh is like all the ingredients in one box, so it's super easy to prepare and cook. Even then it took forever. But it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. And yes, that just made me hungry. Super hungry. A lot of pubs around here actually carry it and have like a big old pot of it made, or whatever you want to call it, pan made, ready to go for the evening. That's like on their menu, and then when it's gone, it's gone. And it is good stuff over here, man. Michigan does make some pretty good shepherd's pies. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we finished plugging in our cables. But brace yourselves. I'm going to give you anxiety here when I flip this thing over. Prepare yourself. This is not something you can handle, don't look. Anxiety. Alright, you guys like that? It's a lot of anxiety right here. But we're gonna organize it, get this all cleaned up, and go. Oh. Mike wants to get on his. No. We have a choice here. I don't blame him. Beautiful build. Lots of raw horsepower here. Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Holy smokes. Oh, damn, made me hungry. Hello. Hello is good, really fresh in ingredients, but leaves me hungry still. Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm not a small guy. Eat a lot of food. Not gonna lie. And I really like food a lot. Why? And yes, HelloFresh. I think the portions could be a little bit bigger. I feel like they were made for, kind of, not people as big as me. And then, yeah, I caught his back, I believe, or I build like that. Build like that. What price on this one, Flacco? To build on this one, it would be. This one was like, I think 3,500 total. And I mean, we can downsize some of the core components and make it so you upgrade it too. So it doesn't have to be that price. We can build within this form factor, this same case and everything, and get a lighter video card and a lighter CPU. That's where the majority of the cost is installed. Then we also went with more storage on this particular, and also more RAM. So you can start out with way less and still game in 1080p at 144 FPS. This similar build like this. This one specifically can handle 1440p and 4K. That is what I wanted to deliver. That was one of the, part of the. He didn't want to have to worry about it for a long time. He went big. All right, got one of these guys top here. Now tangle up in all those. Oh, cool. Yeah, and it's not a bad price for this build. It's, you could play 1440p and 4K in this build and probably still stream. So, powerful build. Um, I actually don't know which of the three this is. In the shortest one. Built this before. Something very close. Go. Now we are going to get the other RGB hub here. You know what? I lost count of the damn twist ties. That was a twist tie. Or no other twist ties. So we were at 27, 28, 29 twist ties. No, we didn't undo that twist tie. We left it. 28 twist ties. Here's twist tie number 27. Actually, we don't need to undo that. So how many streams do you think I would take? How many streams do you think it would take to fill up a water jug of guys take off cables? Oh, probably not too many. I mean, water jug, like a 1 gallon are we talking about? Or are we talking about like a 20 ouncer? Or what size are we actually talking about here? This is a challenge, I'll accept it. And I do build computers also off stream, so I'm not always streaming them. Want to make sure that's fair. Yeah. All right. The ones you see in doctor's offices. Okay. Go to the doctor's. Water jugs. All right. Are we talking like, okay. Water jug? Like a water jug. 1 gallon. Like this? Other from us. Did you listen to the new Blade? No, I have not. We're on YouTube. That was a question. I have not listened to the new Blade, man. Blade E. Blade E. Anyway, Jose, like that size 4 gallon jug, that's a 1 gallon. Guess I'm not following, but if that's wrong. Fake drain. What do you mean by fake drain? No, the big ones you turn over into sensors. Oh my gosh. Now I'm following you. That would take me a long time, actually. I think that would, those are pretty big. All the kids in the background get really loud. Ladies are not having a girls' night behind me. I'm just struggling. Cable plugged in. Go. Finally. There we go. Got it. Alright, so one more set of fans. Then we can finally flip this thing over and power it on. After the power supply. Get the power supply. That's not too bad. Pretty quick. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep it like this. I am going to come back, do some more of the cable management, unless you guys really want to see me do it. Good. Bye for you. But personally, I think it's a lot of extra time here. I mean, I'll probably spend an extra half hour or so cleaning this cables up. A lot. But no, I do not ship them out like that. Just for the... And I'm starving. Hungry. Might be part of the week. I'm hungry, and likes to watch a dude sit there with his guys. Toby Manning, 5 gallon. Jose, okay. I got it. Ben, what's the what's with the RGB cables I'm seeing around? Is that just added onto the cables, or are those specific cables that have RGB built in? Which ones, I guess, exactly? Because there's multiple cables here that we're dealing with. We're dealing with addressable RGB specific for deep cool setup, which is using a 3-pin wire, but it converts to your addressable RGB 3-pin 5 volts. 3-pin 5-volt header. So it plugs into your standard addressable RGB motherboard header, so to speak. Then the software from the motherboard actually runs the RGB. I think that's the question. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there are different types of RGB, so you gotta watch out for that when you're buying stuff for your computer. Make sure it's compatible with what your motherboard supports or what you currently have in your system. It's always important. Verify beforehand. Zip ties. I am gonna put a couple zip ties in here. Start. This is driving me nuts. Sorry guys, I can't help myself. I have a problem. We talk about it later. Like the wires you would see plugged into motherboard GPU. You're talking about these here. Oh, you're talking about the power cords with the RGB on them. I think that's what you're talking about. Those are actually called Lian Li streamers. Probably the most common one you'll see is Lian Li streamers. So Google that really quick. Streamers. Lian Li streamers, which are addressable RGB cables. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. I want to Google it real quick. Yeah, those are an extra cost. They're actually not too expensive now. Like when they first came out, they were like really hard to get, super expensive. Now they're not as bad, but in my opinion, they are just, you know, if you're only doing the motherboard 24 pin, which is the big fat one, I feel like that's okay. It actually blends really nicely. But the, you know, the extras like the graphics cards, it's just, you know, they're really hard to work with when you're able to manufacture. So building pleasure, not so much, but maybe viewing pleasure a lot better. If you like that much RGB, okay. Absurd amount of RGB. Cables are actually, you know. They also make RGB case or covers for the AIO too. I know I saw those too. Again. But I mean, if that is your thing, want that, ask me to build it, I will build it for you. But like today, I got a request for an estimate. The estimate was a blackout build, no RGB at all. So there's still people out there that would prefer not to have any RGB. It wasn't because of cost. He just wanted, I checked with him. I was like, RGB doesn't really cost that much. I'm trying to save money. Nope, I just don't want RGB. Some people just don't prefer it. Just a few zip ties, guys. It's okay. Right? Help my addiction. Got my fix. Now we'll get the power supply in here. Yep. See if it posts. You guys think it'll post? On the first go, without me having to touch anything? $1,000 G5 Supernova 80 plus gold fully modular power supply by EVJ. Beautiful power supply. One of my favorites probably to build with, the Supernova series by EVJ. Just always a pleasure. They are quality power supplies. Fully modular, meaning all the cables are separated. Individually plug in the cables that you need. Pretty clean. Duck Goose Gaming, how are you tonight? I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself? How's it going over there on YouTube? Blister Kiss, pretty clean. You know, this isn't even done. This is me having anxiety with it being so messy. So I'll come back through here and probably clean it up a little bit. For the Leon Lee 011 Dynamics, always be sure to mount or place your power supply fans the direction of your ventilation. That's up to the power supply. In this case, the fan is facing up where the case is because the panel that goes here has ventilation for the power supply. The key reminder, don't suffocate your power supply. Terrible idea. Almost there. Almost ready to fire this bad boy up. So close. What are we, 2 hours into it? 2 hours in. That's not bad for 2 hours, honestly. Building this PC in 2 hours, along with chit-chatting. Breaks in between. Go, go, go. That's not bad. 2 hours, 8 minutes, if anybody's counting. So we're going to do this one last. Wanted to get the GPU for VGA. I would like to, because this power supply comes with two without the pigtails, but we don't need the pigtails, and I don't ever use the damn pigtails anyway. I want the ones with the pigtails. And got the two without pigtails. For the PCIe or the graphics card. Need a CPU connection. Power that CPU. Actually going to plug both in. It does have an extra 4 pins on the motherboard, so I'm just going to now until we whether or not we're going to use it or not. But it'll be in. This is the 24 pin for the big fat one. Again, millionth time, not how I ship it. Not look like. We'll up a little bit, a lot of it. Here we go. They're all plugged in. Plug it in and put it out. You guys ready for this? You can see what it looks like. Hold on, I gotta fix this. It's ugly. Cable's moved on the front side. Don't look. Not ready. Okay, now we're ready. Then we'll see if we get it posted, you know. See if it posts. If it doesn't post, or if it doesn't post, what do I do? What do I do? Do I panic? No, I'm just kidding. And for those of us who do not know what post is, it is power on self-test. It is how the BIOS determines that the system is ready to motherboard has to detect the NQ output. Ready to post. It does not need storage to post. Although you won't be able to install Windows without storage. Don't know if you lost my voice there or not while I was underneath the mic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. There's some lights and wiggle the camera for you. Center this up. Please God, don't make it fall. I'd say it looks pretty damn good. And AMD usually has a delay, so we're going to get a post here in a minute. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a post. We are now in the BIOS. And I ripped my plug last second. Looking good per usual. Thank you, Toby. Oh, it's another build. Another night, another build, man. I think at this rate, I'm going to probably surpass 2,000 2022. Single man building 2,000 gaming PCs in 1 year. How about that? Do it. We're at the BIOS. We're all set. Need to install Windows. We're going to go through quite a bit of other process as well. Number one, I'm going to tidy up these cables. Number two, we're going to install Windows. We're going to do the driver installation. And then we're also going to do what we call a battle tested phase. Battle tested phase is going to drive the performance, or really test the performance and the cooling performance of the entire system to make sure that it's running where we are expecting it should be running based off the hardware inside the system and the cooling inside the system. So, for example, if the CPU isn't running or cooling where it should be, we'll make sure nothing's thermal throttling, like the video card and graphics card. The video card, the graphics card, and the CPU. Good God. Help me. And then we're also going to make sure that the RAM is running where it's supposed to at 3600 megahertz. We'll test the SSD read-write speed, and we'll also run a couple of different benchmarks, specifically targeting the CPU, the graphics card, and the CPU graphics card combined to make sure that there's a hot load on it. So we put it through a pretty significant test, and it usually takes about a day just to get through the software side of things. And when we run, our heat stress tests, we run them try to run them as long as we can. In some cases, on bigger builds, I like to run them for like 12 hours to make sure they're consistent. So, Jose, another awesome build. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Toby, crush it, bro. You got it. Thanks, man. I appreciate both of you. Appreciate everybody hanging out here, stopping in, liking the stream, commenting, hanging out with me while I'm building away. Always nice to have you guys hanging out, chit-chatting. I like it a lot better than sitting here building in silence or listening to like crazy primo music. I'm just kidding. I don't listen to that. Or I'm not. Not that I don't like it. It's not my thing. I grew up like a Linkin Park type of guy. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go eat, because if not, I'm gonna start eating this computer. And I'm sorry, Mike, but I might. But I'm starving, so I'll leave it up here. So if Mike's not in here right now, you can pop in and I'll message him, make sure he saw it, so you can see the end results. Mike is the owner of this build, so good for him, man. Who doesn't like chips? I mean, there's a lot of chips in here, man. But this isn't like the type of chips that you get the Dorito dust powder on your hands or you can lick it up. Not as satisfying. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. But anyway, enjoy the view. I'm going to go eat. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Next stream. Kind of not sure when the next stream is going to be, but it is going to be sometime next week. So we will have a stream next week, just not sure which day. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your guys' nights. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. Take care.
Thank you.